Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, it's been a couple weeks since we've updated you on the semi. So we've got a number of really awesome positive updates for you on the semi, starting with what's in these boxes right here. I also wanted to give you an update on our Operation Brace Yourselves. I don't know what we're gonna call it. The fundraising effort to raise the money for the corrugated metal walls, the cross members, the diamond plate, and also wanted to give you an update on the semi's fuel pump. So we've got lots to cover. It's all good news, so stick around. So I wanted to share this latest design that we just finished up here. Thanks to our friend Clay Hickman for coming up with this for us. Take a look at this really cool design. What we decided to do, and this shirt and some sweatshirts are available over on our store at knightriderhistorians.com. But recently we polled you guys to say, what was Knight Rider called in your country? And you came back with a ton of different names, which is really neat. So I thought, why not celebrate the worldwide appeal of Knight Rider with this Knight Rider Nations shirt. Nations with a K, of course. And I don't know if you can see this, but the shirt has the original Knight Rider name, but then it has the country, and obviously in the shape of Kit's voice box, it's got the country, what it's known as in that country, and the literal translation. So, for example, we've got Finland, Ritari Asa. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Literal translation, Knight Ace. Isn't that cool? So there's a couple dozen on here just from countries across the world. It's a really, really neat design. And like I said, we've got it on shirts right now. I think this would make a really cool poster. What do you guys think? Maybe we'll get some posters going. But if you're interested in this or any of our products, knightriderhistorians.com, check it out. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon supporter, you get an exclusive discount code, so you get deals on all of our stuff on our web store. So if you're interested in joining our Patreon community, there is a link in the corner right now and a link down in the description below. There's all kinds of benefits, early access to videos, behind the scenes pictures you'll never see, all kinds of good stuff. So you might want to check that out too. All right, so the weather here for the last month has been so hot and humid, but that finally broke the other day, and now it is absolutely gorgeous here. So I'm highly motivated to get back out here and do some stuff with the semi. So first thing is I wanted to go over what's in these boxes and the Operation Brace Yourselves. So if you remember, in our last semi video, I put out a challenge to you guys. Let's see if we can fundraise for building basically the garage portion of the semi, the entire inside. I'm talking about the corrugated metal that's on the side walls, the steel, the black steel frames, the cross members, the diamond plate floor. You guys I'm so humbled by this, but within a matter of days, we had raised 100% of the funds to build out the garage of the semi, and I cannot thank you guys enough. It's incredible how generous you guys are. So I wanted to share with you, first of all, that the walls, again, the cross member, the frame, are being fabricated as we speak. I'm talking about all 8 panels. There's 4 on each side that covers the back half, about 20 feet of the back half of the trailer. our friend Zach. He's the one that did the welding on the jam around the outside. He did the climbing bar on the outside and a number of other things. He's been invaluable to us. We gave him the job to build the walls. He's actively working on it, and we expect to have the walls this month here installed. It's going to be amazing. This whole back half of the trailer is going to very quickly transform into what you'd expect it to be, right? The only thing that won't be done yet is the ceiling. We're still waiting on the ramp for that, but one project at a time. So thank you guys again. I cannot wait to show you whenever we get this whole back half done. I'll bring you guys along for the install and everything. It's going to be amazing. But in the meantime, also thanks to your funding, we got all of the corrugated metal here. I can't tell you how much research I did to try and find these panels. It seems like over in Europe, the exact style panels that we see on the set, it seems like they're easy to find over there. Well, the problem is shipping them over to the United States is a lot of money. So I had to find something here. I had tons of samples. Some of you guys out there sent me samples. And I ended up finding a like 99.9% match. Because, you know, those corrugated metal panels, they're like trapezoidal, right? So you have the flat top, then they come in at an angle, and then there's a valley. These ones, the valley is just a hair narrower than the original, but we couldn't justify the expense of having them custom made. It would have been a fortune. And we decided we'd rather, you know, spend that money maybe elsewhere. So, all that being said, here, 12 foot long, here is the corrugated metal panel, right there. Now, it's very bright out here, as you can see, so this probably looks white to you, but this is actually heritage gray. This is the closest I could find to the color that was in the semi. Once I take a panel inside, out of the sun, we're gonna see if this gray is the right gray or if I need to paint these. But regardless, I'd rather paint them and have the right design. So take a look at that. Now, these only come in 12 foot. We need them cut down to 8 foot. So I'm going to show you in a few minutes the lovely little jig I built to get these cut down, and we'll cut a few panels and see what they look like. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the rest of what's going on in here. So diamond plate floor. That's, you know, diamond plate floor is pretty standard stuff. So I am in the process of getting that ordered. I'd love to get that here before the walls get here. I think I can. So I'm gonna order the diamond plate, and we need 4 sheets, 4 foot wide by just a little less than 8 feet long. They go this way in the trailer. 4 of those. Yeah, that's right, 4 of those. I've talked in the past how we have to kind of scale down portions of the trailer versus the set. In reality, the garage portion of the semi set on Stage 1 at Universal was about 20 feet long. We have a little over 16 feet to work with to make everything else work, which is fine. An 82 Trans Am is like 16 feet long, so it'll be tight, but we'll make it work. So we're gonna get those in. The only change we're going to make, and I'll bring you in to see this, to the diamond plate is we are gonna add tie downs in because we wanna be able to haul kit in here, right? And there are existing holes in the wood floor, as you can see. There's a couple back here. I think there's more under these boxes too. Yeah, there's another one back there. But there were tie downs on the trailer. Some of them were cut in whenever the trailer was used as a dragster or boat or whatever hauler. But others, whenever we pulled, there were aluminum panels on the floor, not the diamond plate, but ones added later. When we pulled those up, we found additional holes underneath, which I'm guessing are the original ones from Knight Rider. Because they did haul in this trailer, whenever they were taking the semi to a set, they would put the hero car in here to protect it during transportation. Like when they went to Chicago or San Francisco, the hero car rode in the semi. So they did have to have a way to tie it down. We're going to do the same thing. We'll cut out, and obviously the floor of the set didn't have tie downs, but we are going to have tie downs, otherwise can't haul kit. So that's what we got there. We do have a couple spare tires. These are two of the original tires that were on the trailer whenever we got it here. They were in decent shape. We decided to keep those. That's a brand new spare. This size is getting very hard to find. So they're smaller than any trailers out there today. So we're collecting tires, I guess you could say. Not too many of them, but all right. So that's that. And before we start getting into getting some of these boards cut, let's talk for a brief moment about the tractor. So I'm not going to reveal too many details today because there's going to be something really cool coming, but suffice it to say the fuel pump has been sent out and it is getting rebuilt, and there's going to be a really cool video on that soon. That's all I'm going to say, but the fuel pump is actively being rebuilt. We should have it back, heck, maybe about the time we get the walls for the trailer in. So once that's done, this thing will be mobile, and then it's going to go to a friend of ours' house who's a mechanic, a retired mechanic. He's going to go over the entire thing, make sure it's all functioning properly, roadworthy, all that stuff. So I'm definitely excited about that. All right, guys, so we're here inside, and as you can see on my screens, I've got some screen grabs of the interior set of the semi. This is on stage 1 at Universal. This is what we are trying to recreate. And I wanted to let you know, if you look in the background here, you can see that like 90% of the interior is made up of this wood paneling, right? So this wood paneling is what is known as oak timber. And I didn't know that until I started researching it, but it's oak timber. It's slotted wood, I guess, that is actually flexible. And when you think of oak timber, you should think of like an old roll-up desk. The roll-up door on the tops of desks? That's oak timber. So we started researching and figured, we're going to need a ton of oak timber, like 12 4x8 sheets, because it's not only in the office set, it's also in the lounge in here. So we found a few suppliers. There's not really a lot of suppliers, but we found a few suppliers, got some samples, which I'll show you here. We got a couple different samples of the oak timber, but this is what I was talking about. See, it's flexible. So that's the timber, that's what it looks like, but it's actually flexible, which is kind of cool. So working with the company, we figured out this is the look that we're looking for, with a little bit of grain. It's red oak, little bit of grain here, which will be a perfect match to what we see on the set here. And what I wanted to do was give a huge shout out to Mr. Irving Jensen. So Irving contacted us after our last semi video, and he said, how can I help? Which is always a wonderful thing, wonderful emails we get. How can I help? And he said he wanted to remove a roadblock for us with this project. So we started talking about this oak timber, And I told him how much we're going to need and, you know, how it's expensive. And that's going to be one of our next fundraisers, is to get the oak timber. And Irving said, I'd like to pay for the whole thing. Unbelievable. So he did. Irving bought all of the oak timber that we need for the semi set. Absolutely unbelievable, hugely generous of him. It is ordered. It should be here within the week. So that's really, really exciting, because now we can start also getting these cabinets built. So, like I said, we did tons of research, all these different types of oak timber. This is maple. This is one style of red oak. This is another style of red oak with a little bit more grain to it. So this was the winner, we decided. But just want to say a huge thank you to Irving. Without you guys, this project would never be accelerating and getting done as fast as it is. So thank you so much. And look for, once the timbre comes in, we'll do a video on it. But super excited. All right, so I wanted a quick and easy way to be able to cut all of these to 8 foot. So I built a jig, because you figure each one of these panels is, I believe they're 16 inches wide. And to do 16 feet on both sides, I'm gonna have to cut a lot of these panels. So I wanted to build a jig so I could easily just cut one, pull it out, put another one in, cut it, and make quick work of this. So I've got a panel all set up here. Let me show you what I've done. So I took some 2x6s that I had laying around, some long ones. These are 16 footers. And then I put a stop here. So I screwed this 2x4 in as a stop for the panel. And then I just have some support here and support down there. And then right here, I screwed this board in, because this edge right here is right where my circular saw needs to go. So I put additional stops here so I can put the board in, put this down, and then clamp it down on both sides. And then I bought this fancy, very expensive blade that was recommended by a number of YouTubers specifically for cutting metal roofing. And from the blade to the guard here is 1 3/8 inches, so I adjusted this accordingly. So whenever I put the saw across here, it'll cut in a little bit, which should be exactly 8 feet. So in theory, this is all gonna work perfectly, but let's go ahead and see how it actually works. And I'm real curious to see how that new blade works. All right, step one, get these clamped on. Using our handy dandy trusty Craftsman clamps. Perfect. All right, we'll do one on the other side. Okay, just like that. I think we're ready to give this a try. So, I'm gonna put on my passive laser restraint earplugs and passive laser restraint glasses. Put on my molecular bonded gloves. Well, that's interesting. I have 2 right gloves. Why do I have 2 right gloves? Guess we're not wearing gloves. Okay, that's great. All right, so in theory, this should all work beautifully. Let's see what happens. Okay, just double check things. Here we go. Well, I'm not sure that could have gone any better. Let's see here. Let's take our jig apart here. Didn't even mar the board. Oh, I love it. Let's just double check to make sure we are at 8 feet. Exactly 96 inches. So there we go. There's one board ready to be installed. Now, let's go ahead and cut a couple more. So what is this, 16 inches? So we need 3 of these to do a complete panel. So I'm gonna cut 2 more of these and then we'll mock them up in the semi and see what it looks like. All right, panel number 2. So we'll get it perfect. Then we'll get our brace back on, which is on the other side here. All right, put this on here. Put it on this side. Okay. All right, ready to cut the next one. I cannot tell you how nice that blade cuts. I mean, just to give you an idea, this edge, this is the edge I just cut. I don't know if you can see, but it's no marring. I mean, it's like butter. It's amazing. Well worth the very expensive price I paid for it. All right, so we gotta cut one more. So we'll set this guy aside, maybe over here. Make sure we are beautiful. Put this on here. Man, I'm gonna fly through getting all these cut at this rate. All right, last one before we mock up. These are great. Even the guard is not marring the finish on this. Awesome. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm not actually going to install these because I'm not ready for that yet. And technically, they would be on these two, but I'm gonna mock it up on these two just so you guys can see. So, let's see how I can do this here. Grab the other two here. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to snap these together quite yet. So I'll just kind of do this. And I made a mistake. These are 12 inches, not 16 inches. So I gotta go cut one more. Be right back. All right, there we go. Right there. So that doesn't really give you the, I guess you could say, the full effect, because they're not hooked together. They're just kind of sitting there. But you see, once these are hooked together and I slide it over, these are 24-inch on center. So now I have 48 inches. So center of that to center of that, which is exactly the way it should be. Yeah, I'm thinking these look a little too white. So what I'm thinking might be the best solution, because these get, so just to give you an idea, once these get put together, they actually get riveted. They get riveted to the wood wall here in the center. I'll have to get some really, really small rivets. That's the way it was on the set. If you look super close, you can see some rivets in there. So we'll try and copy that as best we can. But that's really cool to see. So awesome. Just a picture of the cross braces on here. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. All right, folks, so that's what we have for the semi this time. Like I said, coming up in a couple weeks, we'll get the wall panels, the cross bracing in, the oak timber, the fuel pump should be back very, very soon. So things are starting to come together. It's getting to be really exciting. And before you know it, the semi will be back looking like this, and I can't wait. So if you're not already subscribed, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We really, really appreciate it. And, you know, tell your friends to join us over here. We're moving along on the semi-restoration, and we're glad you're with us. As always, thanks so much for watching, and we will catch you next time.
Hello friends, it's me, Kit. When I'm not out fighting crime, I like to follow my friends at knightriderhistorians.com. Check it out.